What's
Is
up,
it safe?
everybody? There you go, interrupting me. Calm down.
Is it safe to come out? Is it safe to come out yet?
No, it's not safe to come out. Go back into your hole. Wait
It
a
ain't
minute.
safe. It ain't safe. It ain't safe. It ain't. Go
I'll
ahead.
give you your cue. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of All Things Super. I am one of your hosts, Spider. I am joined by Mr. VIP, Frankie Washington. How are you doing today, sir?
There it is. There it is. I'm awesome, sir. Thank you for asking. I'm a little disappointed. Everything inside this cup is frozen. So I wish we had editing money so I could drop a little tear, like a little Will Smith tear.
Oh my
a
God.
little Denzel tear. Because
Will Smith
iced
tear.
out. Man, Will Smith was legendary for dropping them tears out of nowhere. You just be like talking, and one take, just that dude got trauma, real trauma. That's how he up there slapping people on stage because he didn't deal with the shit that he had to deal with.
Yeah, unresolved
Keep
issues.
my wife's name out. I love Will Smith.
And on that note, for this week's episode, we have a very special guest.
It's thawing out.
Oh my God, Mrs. VIP, Keisha Washington. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here. I'm excited about this episode.
We are happy to have you. For those of you who are uninitiated, if you don't know, this is All Things Super, where every week we take a piece of super-powered TV, film, even sometimes trailers. We watch them, we review them, we react to them, we break them down, and we answer the question, is it super? But if you like that, you can subscribe to the channel, click on the bell so you can get notified whenever we have a new video that comes out. If you want the audio version, you can find us on podcast streaming services all around the world. And if you want to get in touch with us, you can tweet at us at ATSuperPod. But
Don't
this
tweet me.
week, what?
We're going on vacation. Yeah, we're going on vacation.
Where are we going on vacation?
Whenever they tweet us.
No, I say
That's
where.
where we going.
Wherever they
Oh,
tweet
we'll
us,
talk about that
tweet at us
outside.
from?
Maybe.
I'm so confused
That's
now.
a nice idea. That's a lot of the
It's what
audience. Don't worry
it's
about
what
it.
he does. It's his superpower to confuse us.
Ooh, I like that.
But
Keeping constant confusion.
yes, a constant state of confusion. I do agree with that.
Oh,
But-
he's frozen.
This week, we are not frozen. This week, we are talking about the Disney Plus series, Star Wars, Obi-Wan Kenobi. It has wrapped. We've gotten all 6 episodes. If you remember, we talked about the first 2 episodes when Obi-Wan Kenobi first came out, but the season or the mini series or the special event series, whatever they want to call it, the 6 episodes have wrapped, and we are going to discuss the 6 episodes, and we're going to figure out what we thought about it. So since we have Ms. Keisha Washington here as our resident Star Wars expert, we're going to leave her analysis for a little bit later on. But Mr. VIP Frankie Washington, I want to get your thoughts on how do you feel?
It was trash. It was trash.
I couldn't even get the
It was
question out.
fucking trash. I was going. It was a fucking trash show. God damn, man. Star Wars can't do shit right. God damn it. I was so waiting for this motherfucking show to end so I could talk about how trash it was. What the fuck is going on in this goddamn show? You got goddamn Ian.
We're never gonna get a Disney sponsor at this point.
I'm just playing. I love the show.
Uh-huh.
It was remarkable. They took a moment in time that everybody didn't know that they wanted and showcased it, and I think it could have been better though. I think it was a great show. It was a great encapsulation in time. I think it was everything that you wanted to know that happened with Ben Kenobi, between him dying and Luke becoming a Jedi Master from beginning to then. And listen, it's no secret I'm not a Star Wars guy. I've let everybody know that
Despite
I'm not a
what
huge
your
Star
background
Wars.
says.
I love Star Wars. I am a walking contradiction this episode, okay? Boba, Jabba, that is Chewie, that's Darth Vader and Luke. Palpatine's over there. Listen, I know about Star Wars. It's from a galaxy far, far away, around Compton.
We're on Tatooine.
Tatooine is around the corner from Compton. Y'all didn't even know that.
Around the
Close,
corner.
so close. Right, like if you go down Crenshaw,
It's north. That way.
Trying to let y'all know right now. Listen, don't get me wrong. Everything about this show, they did it right. They did it right. I think the acting was amazing. I think for that encapsulation time in the story, it was pretty good. It was interesting. Layla kind of stole the show. She came in, she did her thing. She made you just want to hug her neck a little bit, just because she wouldn't listen. And even little Lola, the little flappity flap robot, did its thing, I guess, in a sense. But at the same time, it's not without its loopholes. Because if I'm Darth Vader and you build up this whole situation that we're chasing each other because we want this epic fight scene, and then we get to it and you burn Ben, and you just kind of look at him and you're like, I guess I'll let him go. Where was all that energy then? Why you ain't kill him? Why you ain't just...
Because season 2.
Season 2, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Just saying. Science.
Disney might do it. Disney might say it. Yeah, we can do it again. It makes no sense, but yeah, they'll do it. Here's what I didn't like. The show was good. I'm not going to tell you it was super, but it was good. Here's what I didn't like. The young lady that played, what's her name? Reva?
Mm-hmm.
Third sister. This was her show. She brought it all the way through. What I didn't understand is why would they make her attack Vader by herself when she had already said that she would not do that? You talked to Ben through a door, and she was even ruthless through that door because he was like, oh shit, this is crazy. Came through, they made the little deal like he won't be paying attention to you, he'll be thinking about me or focused on me. Mm-hmm. He wasn't even there. He was flying away. Then she attacked. Why? Why did you do this? Then you got stabbed in the stomach. I can't feel sorry for you. That was just not a good move. Who wrote that part? I think she wasn't done justice. And I'm glad she didn't die. Oh, sorry. Swallow
because season 2.
Because season 2. Well, I need to get a Jamaican horn. Can I have a Jamaican horn?
Yeah, sure. I think it's just called a regular horn, but I got you.
Did you say a Jamaican horn?
Yeah, they use it a lot at their parties. It'll burr, 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 burr.
It's just an air horn. It's just an air horn.
Exactly.
No,
that's not specific.
I'm not going to try to do that.
A regular horn.
It's time the Jamaicans get their recognition. That is a Jamaican horn.
They do use it a lot. They love an air horn.
Spoiler warning, in case y'all listening to the show and not this rant, there will be spoilers furthermore. I'm glad she's still alive. I would like to see her pick up her lightsaber again. Maybe that's a season 2. Maybe we get a spinoff.
Her saber was the shit too.
But
you'll get to me. I'm sorry.
Don't all the Inquisitors have like the same saber though, with the helicopter Thanos blade?
I think so. At least from what I saw, they all had it was one, but it could extend to 2, and then it could spin.
It's 2, yeah.
Because in episode 2 or 3 when they were on Dio and the Grand Inquisitor was trying to like flush Obi-Wan out, and they were like threatening the people he had, the one that was spinning and everything. Yeah, I think all the Inquisitors had the same. Yeah,
she did her thing. There's no denying that she came up through the ranks. She had to deal with the discrimination, so much like reality. And still, when she was at the top, they kept shitting on that girl, and it's just unnecessary that they kept shitting on her. And I just think, as a G, not a girl, but a gangster, in case you wanted to substitute the G for something else.
You had to clarify.
I think she went out. Right, I think she went out like a simp, getting stabbed in the stomach. That's it. Everything else, spot on. I mean, she ran a show. I was more interested in her than Ben Kenobi. I was like, give her an antagonist. I thought she was gonna fight Han. I know he's not Han in this universe, but
the fifth brother.
He's always gonna be Han. Okay, so I thought they were that
original Grand Inquisitor.
The other one, the one who was
the fifth brother.
Head, he got stabbed.
The fifth brother.
Not him. I wanted him to fight the other one.
He was trying to be Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah, he was trying to be Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah.
I wanted them to that season 2. Can I get a season 2? Can I get that in season 2?
Yeah.
Because that's what the story was for me. I don't understand why she was pursuing these kids so hard, especially when she went up against Vader and lost. Gotta take that L.
Manipulation.
I understand that, but and here's something else. This is Darth Vader, goddammit. I need more force chokes. You gotta choke somebody out with the choke with a.
Was it not enough that he rolled up in that town and just started snapping necks?
No, man, you need a hold. This your signature move. It's like if you watching The Rock and you don't get the rock bottom. You feel like
he force choke either. How many people you wanted on the force choke?
Everybody.
At least one person.
Everybody getting force choke. Just walking down the hall, you getting choked. You getting choked. You getting choked.
Listen.
He's an Oprah force chokes.
If you had that ability, you can't tell me you wouldn't choke a Karen out. Like,
listen.
you're gonna let your dog just shit right here. You're not gonna pick that shit up. Come here, Karen. Come here. You'll let her go, but you're gonna choke the shit out of Karen. Just saying. Might choke a little dog too. Agatha Harkness taught me that.
Just kill a little dog.
Kill Sparky too.
I got it.
It was Agatha all along. I'm done with it. I look. Don't ask us to review Star Wars again. Watch.
Wow.
That's how I feel about it. Don't let none of this shit fool you. I love Star Wars. Walking contradiction is
all over the place. If it was trash, I liked it though.
It was a great show. Was it super? Stay tuned. Let me know when it's safe to come out.
You already answered the question though.
Let me know when it's safe. Because they're mad now. I know y'all mad now. Was it super? Wait till the end of the show.
But no, I because like we mentioned before when we reviewed the first two.
Don't you lie to him.
Shut up. When we talked about our first 2 episodes, we reviewed it. We went on record to say between myself and Mr. VIP, Frankie Washington, we don't have the most in-depth knowledge about Star Wars. So we're basically going into the show kind of blind. We have a bit of knowledge of the original trilogies, so we know kind of where the story is leading up to. So being able to go into this series with sort of a blank perspective, not necessarily knowing what's going to happen, because I haven't watched any of the animated series, haven't read any of the comics, so I don't know all of this in between stuff. I've watched breakdowns about it after the fact, and they kind of fill in the blanks and everything, but I had no prior knowledge to that. As a show, if I'm looking at this as a standalone show, yes, it was entertaining in the sense to where it made me want to know what was going on, and it kept my interest for the next episode. Were there things that I felt didn't make sense? Yes, there were some things that I kind of didn't really understand. So one thing for sure is, and I had seen some people kind of upset about this. So in A New Hope, when Obi-Wan is talking to Luke, and they have C-3PO, they have R2-D2, they're on Tatooine. This is after Owen and Beru have been killed, and Luke is going to get trained by Obi-Wan. They're messing around with the R2 unit. The little hologram message comes up, and that kind of sends them on their mission to go rescue Leia. And I looked up the actual verbiage of what Leia said. She was sending out the message to Obi-Wan. She said, "Many years ago, you helped my father out in the war. So from that message, she was talking to Obi-Wan as if she had never met him before. Like, I don't know you, but my father spoke of you. So I know of you through him. And so that's totally contradicted in the show because going through that experience, even if you are 9, 10 years old, that's not something that you're going to forget. You're not going to forget this person
Right.
who saved your life, who you went on, who damn near went on a suicide mission to rescue you after you got shackled down to a damn chair about to get your eyeballs drilled out. That's not something that you're going to forget. So it's like, I don't understand where they were going with that one, because I was thinking that maybe because I had this knowledge about A New Hope, I was thinking that, okay, well, maybe like when they get close to the end of the series, like the last thing that he's going to do is just like, you know, I appreciate all the time I spent with you, but I don't want you to hold on to this. So I thought he was going to like use the force and like wipe a memory. And then that would like lead her into not remembering that, but he didn't do that. So I don't know. But yeah, the whole thing about Reva attacking Vader.
What can the force not do?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know enough about the Force to answer that question. But yeah, the whole thing about Reva attacking Vader, I think the message that they were trying to get across in that moment, where because they were drawing all these parallels, right? They had the flashbacks to when Obi-Wan and Anakin were fighting, and the way that they fought, and kind of the history that they had, and there's all of this stuff that was eating Obi-Wan up from the inside because he felt guilty about what happened to Anakin, because he felt that that was his fault. And so I think that between Reva and Darth Vader, there was these parallels of this plot of vengeance. And so we're led to believe that Reva is so fixated on getting Obi-Wan because of what happened at the Jedi Academy, the younglings getting murdered. She sees that all of her friends are killed, and so we're led to believe that she blames Obi-Wan for this, because Obi-Wan was there, and he was there to get Luke and Leia out of the Jedi Academy, off the planet, to safety. So like I said, we're led to believe that Reva wants to get back at Obi-Wan for that. We know that Darth Vader wants to get back at Obi-Wan for, you know, almost killing him. And so
leaving him on a lava beach to
right. and so
that ain't motivation. I don't know what it is.
Right. And they said that revenge motivates you, or revenge is like a force more powerful than death, because we can see that revenge kept Anakin alive to where he lived long enough to be transformed into Darth Vader and wants to come after him. And even Reva getting stabbed in the stomach with a lightsaber, she still wanted revenge just that much, that it still kept her alive. And I think the reason that she went after Luke, because for whatever reason, she knew reasons. I guess she knew that Bail Organa was Leia's father, and then because when they were leaving the planet, I can't remember what Kumail Nanjiani's character was. Yeah, saw the recording of Bail talking to Obi-Wan, saying that if I don't hear from you, I'm gonna go to Tatooine to get the boy. And so she just happened to know that Owen was Luke's father. That's the exact boy that I want to look for. I don't know how she pieced that together, and it for me, I guess it made it seem like, okay, well, now she knows that these kids are important. I don't know if she knew that Luke is Anakin's son. I don't know if that connection was made as to why she specifically went after him, because I can see if she did somehow know that, then that would be motivation. Okay, well, if I can't kill Darth Vader, then I'm going to go after his son as another way to hurt him. So I don't know if that was some motivation, because other than that, I don't see any other reason for her to go after Luke.
So we murdering kids now? Is that what we're doing?
That's what
they got. She saw her friends get murdered.
They got Jedi's kids.
Love this show. Love it. Just murdering kids these days. Wait. The Jedi kidnaps kids and train them to be soldiers. Same thing we did with the clones, right? I am so not sure about all that. I'm so glad we brought Keisha on, because Keisha has all this from a galaxy far, far away knowledge. So let me know when she kicks it in gear, She could school me. Maybe
I'm
I
not
could
trying to
change my
school
mind
anybody.
about how.
I mean, by all means, school us. Let us. What did Keisha? What did you think about the show?
I mean, I actually really enjoyed this show. Um, in A New Hope, for me, when Leia was sending the message to Obi-Wan, I don't think it would just be a situation where you heard your father talk about this guy he fought in a war with. I think there had to be something in you where you felt like this is your last hope. Clearly, there was more to it than just you fought with my father in a war. That doesn't seem like I would send that. Just this random guy my dad fought in a war with, he might have mentioned. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It to me felt like there might have been a little more. So when I saw the show and then I go back to New Hope, it kind of to me kind of ties together. But yeah, I think it should have been a little more dialogue there if they wanted to join them. You know what I
Right.
mean? But I didn't. I was really curious about that time in between from A New Hope till when Obi-Wan went to go get Luke after Ben and his wife died. So this was a good kind of connectivity to that time. And it was a Leia and Obi-Wan story I didn't even know I wanted because they focused primarily on Luke a lot. But Leia was a rebel. She fought in the revolution. She was part of the rebels. She single-handedly had an underground system of fighting the Imperial. So it's just one of those things where while Luke was on Tatooine with Ben, she was actually organizing and trying to fight. So it was a good story to see her and how she got to this point with the holster, her little bun. So
Right.
to me, it was great. To me, it was a good way to show that she was always rebellious, she was rambunctious. She always had that little fight in her when she went off on her cousin and things like that. It kind of played into that character. You kind of got a better understanding that she never felt like she fit in.
Mm-hmm.
She never felt like she fit in with that family, within that society, that political rule. And so she was a Star Wars rebel. And it was true to her character that we've come to learn, come to know in A New Hope, Return of the Jedi. I mean, it just embodied her really good to me. It wasn't perfect. I kind of hated that they built up Reva so much because I loved her in this show. I loved her character. I loved everything about her as third sister. But I think they needed somebody besides Obi-Wan to show you how Vader is like this all-knowing power.
What do you mean?
Because he told her, "You didn't think I knew, youngling?" Like he knew. So he had his own plan. This is how diabolical this man is.
Right.
He probably already knew who she was, brought her in.
Use her to.
This is the level. And when I had a dog named Vader, this is the level of cruelty, manipulation, use of power that you see. That's why he's revered as one of the greatest villains in this universe. Some people don't really see it, but he knew who she was. He might have not known how or when, but he knew that we're going to lead to this point. He was not surprised.
Right.
He literally was like, "Did you not think I would know who you are, youngling?"
Right.
So she thinking she was she thinking that she was in some type of plot and scheming, and she's just ahead of the game, and I'm gonna bring Obi-Wan. But in reality, Obi-Wan was the only person that could draw Vader out, and that was her obsession with him.
Right.
For her to get that close to Vader, there is only one other person besides Padme that could have drawn him out from his tower to come down, get in his ship, and to fight. The fight scene, to me, I was excited because I love a good lightsaber tussle. I mean, I'm here for it.
I will say that they delivered on the fights, on the battles.
And with this new technology, it was beautiful. It looked really good. This good versus evil, but you have to remember that it's almost like a bromance. They loved each other. Obi-Wan had an opportunity to kill Anakin Skywalker. There were 4 times he chopped off one arm, then still didn't stop. He chopped off the other. Anakin wouldn't stop. He cut off his legs. Like, this man did not want to have to kill like his brother.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, he just did not. So there's a lot of holding back for Obi-Wan. Like, it's almost like a love story, like a Loki Thor. I hate you, I love you. It was a great battle to me because I understand the dynamics that when he found out that Anakin was still alive and that Raven knew that Anakin was Darth Vader, which a lot of people didn't know. Palpatine saved him, took him, and only a few regarded people knew who he was.
Right.
So it shows that she's really smart. She can put things together.
She was my favorite character.
She really was. She really was.
The driving force of
She really was. She was really great. Like Frankie said, I agree. I just don't feel like she was cocky enough. Like, they built her up to be so smart. She shouldn't have gone at him on his own.
Strategic. There
should have been a bigger plan.
She was
for
like
this.
a Game of Thrones type of character.
Yeah, and then they just kind of
working her way through the ranks and.
But because season 2, she might get a bionic stomach. Who knows? I don't know.
Maybe they've been known to do that. Yeah. So,
but I love that she wasn't stupid. She was really smart. She was strategic. But I feel like she was a bit naive too, to think that she could go against this big bad that's Darth Vader. Like, he's not. Right. He's feared throughout the galaxy because he can kill you.
What a joke!
Right.
Like, he is not the guy you sneak up on. He's just not. You know what I mean? And I just didn't like that part. That's like my least favorite part. It's like you built her up so much to I thought you had a plan, girl. Like, what's going on?
Right.
You can put all these things together, but you didn't know that he would know that, or he could sense your presence. Like, you didn't even research this properly.
Right.
Spider and I talked about that so many times. Like, why do they keep doing these 6-episode type of situations? Like,
because it forces them to have to shorten everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, let her have that fight. You could clearly see they were building up to I keep forgetting Han's character's name. But Han and Reed was supposed to.
The fifth brother.
I got love on it. Anyway, so you seen that they were building up to this tension, and I'm like, ooh, when it's going down, never happened.
Yeah, she just kind of stabbed it, but all that goes into play with that. She had this driving force to find Obi-Wan. If nobody was going to find her, she was going to find her. And I feel like the Grand Inquisitor was trying to tell her so many times, like, leave this alone. It's not what you think it is. Like, he warned her, like, this is going to be the end of you. Like, he was showing her favor. Like, we already know what your plan is. Step back.
Like, you're not,
and that's
like,
the forewarning
you're so vengeful. You're not you're not hiding this from anybody. It's like we obviously it's so obvious that you're fixated on Obi-Wan. It's like, but this is not the time. It's like, we have a mission. We're trying to find all the Jedis. We're trying to get rid of all the Jedis. It's not worth it to throw your life away for this one Jedi. It's like, we'll get him when we get him, but for now, chill out. Like, just chill. Yes.
And kind of, I felt too like a forewarning to her, like, he knows what you're up to. We all know what you're up to. This is going to be the end of you. Leave it alone. Step back. And her rage was so much, and it felt like a blame Obi-Wan for everything type of deal.
Right.
I mean, I understand. I mean, if I was a kid in my
you wouldn't, but your hatred should be for the guy that actually came in and slaughtered you.
Yeah, but clearly you working hand to hand right there with him, thinking, I guess, biding your time, but at the same time, I don't know. It gets muddy when you start thinking about it.
Well, no, I mean,
Well, you're trying
Anakin
to start making
Skywalker.
sense out of it.
Oh, y'all mad
No.
at me because I said it was, but I'm saying, listen, the show was good. It's a
It really was.
good piece of content. I'm not going to say it, but it has its question marks on it because I just don't understand why would she do that. Like Keisha said, you made her all the way this great character, and then turn around and do something that, in the scope of the character, would not do.
He is just a character you fight front on. He is not a guy you can sneak up on. He's just never been. He's just never been a sneaker. He is not one to run away from a fight. He will not use the force. He will fight you hand to hand. Well, saber to saber combat battle. He's not one to, and I think that's why he's always been so formidable, because he can kill you with mind control. He could debo you, but he never does. He's always trying to fight you. And I think when you go back to when he did fought, and they did that flashback when him and Obi-Wan were battling, and they do all these tricks. It's just he wants that. He wants to be a good saber on saber type of fighter. Mm-hmm. So he's always looking for a fight.
Right.
And because he's never been able to beat him.
Right. And so just like Obi-Wan kept telling him, tell him you're too aggressive. It's like you want victory so bad that you can't see like the fight for what it is. And to your point, you were saying that Obi-Wan is the only one that can draw Vader out. He's the only one that can get under the skin like that. Honestly, like I said, I haven't watched all of the movies and everything, but I know that every other time that I've seen Vader, when he moves, when he walks, it's always methodical. It's very, like, you don't see any, there's no emotion in his movement. He moves with a purpose, but it's never like he's rushed. It's never like he's hurried.
Dude can't turn his neck at all. He's always doing it. He can't turn his neck.
And then he can't breathe well. And he can't breathe well. Right. You have to understand with that mask. So when Frankie was like, oh, it just cut into his mask, he is struggling to breathe.
Right.
So you got your asthma.
Yeah. So burn victim. It slows him down a bit.
Paraplegic.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But even with all of that, we go to the scene where Kenobi is trying to get away with the refugees and everything, but we see when Vader's going to the ship, we see he's got like a little pep in his step. He was hustling a little bit to get up there. And when they got onto the to that little deserted moon, when they had that final fight, when he was coming up to Obi-Wan, he was still like had some hustle in him. Obi-Wan is the only one that could get him to move like that, because he's the only one that brings out that anger, that emotion in them. And it's just that, to me, we already know that Vader is the most dangerous person in any cinematic universe, but just seeing him almost run made him that much more terrifying. It was like, oh shit, he is coming.
Michael Myers was scared. Michael Myers was looking like,
it's so true. It really is. Yeah.
Y'all done fucked up now.
He is always he's never in urgency. He's never in an urgency. When he lands and he shows up, it's because someone's already detained. He's already questioned him. It's like, that's it. But for this, it's like this dude left me with no arms, no legs on a lava beach to die.
I'm coming for that ass.
I am coming. There is urgency.
I'm gonna say you are son.
I enjoyed it because a lot of the films were done pre all this new technology era. So it's really good to see the design of his suit, how the sabers, the sound, like when they touch, when they hit, like to hear Earl James Johnson being Vader, even though he was sensitized.
James Earl Jones. James Earl
James
Jones.
Earl Jones.
Oh my God. James Earl.
I worked for a guy named
Jones.
James Johnson, and I heard James, and I went straight to Johnson. Hey, Earl James.
James Earl Jones.
You know who I? There you go. Anyways, to hear his voice as Vader, because that was another thing I was worried about,
Mm-hmm.
was that voice.
No disintegration.
It's epic to what
You
embodies
have
Vader
failed,
as a bad guy.
Obi-Wan.
Yes, you know what I mean? So that was really good. It was so good. And then having Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan
Mm-hmm.
and having him age appropriately for this role,
Right.
because when he goes to see Luke as Luke is older, he's older and he's a
right.
whole different character. So it's really good to see him age appropriate for where he would be at this point. And then another thing on Tatooine, to see that Ben and his wife were ready to go.
Oh, they were ready to throw down.
They were-
It was like, look,
they were ready.
she coming.
Look.
Baru was like, look, I got the gun stashed away. Take
Yeah,
a rifle,
yeah.
set up a perimeter. You take this high vantage point. I'm gonna take the back.
And it
That
made
just lets me know
sense.
that I feel so bad when they died, because chances are
Yeah.
they already did, and they probably
Yeah.
could have been
So, you know,
Yeah.
it just shows that they lived alone. They were in the desert. They weren't naive people.
Mm-hmm.
And which is cool to see that they understood the assignment that you have a force sensitive child who is the child of like
of
the
the
most powerful
Right.
Jedi in the galaxy, and you have to be ready. I love that because I think sometimes it just made them seem like they were just gunned down all crazy, like, you know, so when they were ready to go, I love that. I love to see Luke's childhood on Tatooine, even though we saw a bunch of it. It was good to kind of see Obi looking at him from afar.
Yeah.
There were a lot of things, but I love that it wasn't a Luke show.
Right.
I
Because
really
we've
love that. I love that it
gotten
was a
3
Leia
movies.
show.
Well, technically like 5
Yeah.
movies of Luke
He's
now.
on every Mandalorian episode we watch.
Like Luke movies?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
all in the
Real
movies.
story for me.
Yeah. So it was a good
Yeah,
between
real
Rogue
show.
One. So it's Rogue One, A New Hope. It's all in between there. It was
Mhm.
done really good. I didn't see too many
You didn't see what?
continuation in
Continuity.
No, I'm saying I didn't hear you.
continuity. There you go.
Oh, I
Words are
didn't hear you.
hard.
I'm sorry.
Issues, except for what you talked about when Leia just mentioned, like, you fought with my father in the war.
Right.
But I feel like, to me, when I heard that, I feel like maybe there was a little more, but it could have alluded to a lot more depending on
It's a droid.
who's watching. But for the fanboys, you know, they read a lot into this. But
Yeah.
why would she have mentioned all that when she's trying to get this message to Obi-Wan as fast as possible?
Right.
And you have to remember, she put it in the droid, and there was a lot that had to go through for him to get that message too. Because right after that, she was taken in for questioning by Vader, and then she told the stormtrooper, "You're kind of short for a stormtrooper." It's just a good. Just
Are we trying to say that there's
It's
no
just-
legendary story without incest in it? I'm just throwing this question out there because
well, they didn't know they
Star
were
Wars-
related.
You got that look like you don't know Luke and Leia kiss.
No, I know
They did,
that.
they
I'm
kissed.
trying to understand what other references are you talking about. I never watched Game of Thrones.
Oh my
Oh my
god!
God.
What? Are you, what? What?
But to me, I thought it was great. I think it was a great story. I felt like I didn't really, I didn't care so much about Leia's story because they pushed
Damn!
Luke so much on us,
Damn!
you know. So it was kind of really good to see, and it was done in a good female-friendly way. It wasn't all in your face. She wasn't like Judith on Walking Dead with a huge gun, and she like this little small girl. It was done very tastefully for her age. And it just showed a lot of who we see her grow to be in the movies, and how she's a gun-toting, gun-slinging girl in the galaxy fighting Darth Vader.
I'm gonna say this: every once in a while, stories like this, which I'm not, you guys might think I'm shitting on it, but I'm really not. But stories like this, stories like In-Game, stories that capture all these loose threads and all these plot holes and start to wrap them up. and make them make sense. They're going to always stand out because they took the responsibility of making these other things that didn't make sense. And I think they did a great job of exactly that because Leia's a princess. You've seen her with this gun holster on her hip, and it's like you've seen her with these wands. It just started to bring all of that together in a tasteful way.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yes, there's no blaster in it, Leia. You're only 10 years old. I'm not going to give you a gun.
Right.
But as you see, it progressed into what it is now.
I mean, for any girl who watched Star Wars when it originally came out, any time after that, it was kind of cool to see this girl that was kicking ass. She was funny, she was smart, and you know, she was probably one of the most influential characters in the movie.
Oh yeah,
you know,
I mean, they still
she talked shit like she was talking shit to Vader.
To this day, that outfit is known.
She had one of the best one-liners. Like, shit. Like, you know, she loved the smuggler. Like, we love bad boys. Like, she was speaking to all of these girls. Like, her man was a smuggler. Like, come on now. She's a gangster. Like, it was just really cool to see her as a young girl in her life. And I'm here for more of it.
Season 2.
I want to go on record as saying I don't watch the Clone Wars. I haven't watched any animated series either. I'm a huge Star Wars movie fan, and you know, so I might, you know, just a disclaimer, but I did enjoy it. Reva was my favorite character. I love.
Can we get a spin-off?
Right? I love young Leia. She don't listen. She was driving me crazy.
She didn't listen as an adult either. So you see where she got it from. You see where it started from.
Yeah. So something else I was going to say. The inside, when we finally see more Vader, we saw a lot more Vader in the Bacta tank. We saw a lot more of his face as Anakin Skywalker, because I believe the guy that originally played him is the guy that's playing him now. As in the movies, he was this older, weird-looking guy. So it was kind of nice to see that. We saw more of the assembly. We saw more of his tower, which is kind of really cool.
Yeah.
To see how cold and black it is, like his heart.
So I think with Hayden Christensen being in the suit, as opposed to when the movies were originally filmed, well, the original trilogy, where you had James Earl Jones providing the voice, but you had a different actor actually in the suit, I think that may have lent into what we were talking about in him moving with purpose, because of course he's a little bit younger. This is what, 9 to 10 years before New Hope. So he's a little bit younger.
Yeah.
So we see that there's a bit of a difference to him. But what do y'all think about that in that last fight scene where Obi-Wan slashes the helmet, and so of course the voice modulator is broken and it's distorted, so the voice is switching back and forth between Hayden Christensen and James Earl Jones. Sometimes they blend together. What y'all think about that and that just whole transition?
To me, it was a great depiction of Anakin and Darth Vader. Anakin, the human part of him, who has a real connection with Obi-Wan, but this new Vader that just wants this revenge. You know, he had to do away with Anakin to become Darth. So I really, really like it. It was just it was just cool to me. But then again, I'm just geeking because
that was a cool scene because he was like, "Oh, you think you killed
Anakin?" Yeah,
I killed him because you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I killed him because I wanted to be who I am now, and I'm going to kill you. I was like, "Oh, this is mad for real!" Like,
but that was the first time I think that we've seen the real Anakin, that the guy that played Anakin and that Vader voice actually, because after he played Anakin Skywalker in the movies, and Luke took off the mask, and whatever that guy, that deformed looking guy was in the movies, his voice was completely different.
Right.
You know, so it was really, I think I was geeking out hearing the voices and how they contrast with each other, because it's like, oh yeah, we getting a real Anakin and a real Darth Vader.
How do we feel about Palpatine popping in and saying,
I could have done
what
without
he
him.
said at the end?
I feel like
Damn!
no, and this is for me personally because I feel like they want to make the connection between where he was then and where he is now going into A New Hope, but I feel like we already know that he serves Palpatine.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt like I feel like they shoehorned him in at the end, and it really didn't serve anything.
Yeah.
But
it's
was
like
it
when
off
I
track,
saw
though?
Palpatine at the end of Rising.
Right, because we had already known that he was, like you said, serving Palpatine. So I think everyone knew that going
It's kind
in.
of played out to me. I'm sick of them bringing up Palpatine and showing Palpatine
Somehow Palpatine's finding
I'm just so, like, we know this. We know the story. It's like Uncle Ben dying. Like, God damn it, we know it's Palpatine. Just shit. Can you give me a break with Palpatine? Like, it's understood. We don't need this explanation. You know. So yeah.
In contrast to that, how do we feel about Qui-Gon showing up at the end of the series and finally revealing himself to Obi-Wan?
They couldn't afford Liam Neeson for a whole episode. The rent done went up on Liam Neeson.
Yeah, he had another Taken to go film, so they couldn't get him on set.
So it was perfect because I think Obi-Wan had things to deal with.
Absolutely.
And you could tell when Reva told him that Anakin was still alive, that look on his face. I love in this character. It was like he was scared.
He was shell shocked. He was literally like,
yes,
holy shit.
What? And what that would mean, and not just for himself, but for Leia, Luke, because the universe. I mean, he's alive. I'm alive. There's no way. Like, it was real fear, real shell shock, real, like, he did that. The look on his face portrayed everything we all feel if this was a real life situation and we thought this bad guy was dead.
Yeah,
you know?
Killer acting.
Yes, killer. He was awesome. Yeah.
Interesting though, because nobody really went for any type of kill shots on this.
I mean, they're stormtroopers. They don't. Their weapons don't work properly.
Yeah, they work. They just got shitty aim. I know it's a trope for Star Wars, and it's become so egregious. It's ridiculous. Yeah. There's so many opportunities there's like 20 stormtroopers chasing after Ben and Tala and Leia when they're trying to run out of the damn fortress.
Not a single shot was landed.
Nothing hit nobody. How? Even when they were in the tunnels, you're in a confined space. They don't have nowhere to go. How do you miss every shot?
I love when the Mandalorian did that one when they had the storm.
Like, what's going on with this?
Can or whatever they were trying to shoot.
Yeah.
And he was shaking the blasters. Like, they couldn't hit it.
It's the blasters.
It's like, oh my God, they are so right on.
They got the budget for stormtrooper uniforms. They got the budget for all of these ships. They got the budget
to
they built 2 Death Stars. They built 2 Death Stars. You can't get functioning blasters? How?
I think stormtroopers are like the guys you don't care if they die. You just set them up. And then there are others, that come behind them. They have other forces, but I feel like stormtroopers are people you just don't care about. Like, just let them die.
But here's the thing,
their armor might as well be.
Their armor is
armor is shit. The armor is made out of paper. The armor is made out of paper. You done seen so many rebels get shot by a blaster. They're fine. You get a stormtrooper get shot by a blaster, they're done. They get shot in the shoulder, dead. They get shot in the hand, dead. But here's the thing. So, here, we say that the stormtroopers don't have any training, but in Force Awakens, Finn was a stormtrooper. Finn got his hands on the blaster. Sharpshooter, taking everybody out. So
It's the helmet.
it's the helmets. They can't
The
see in the
helmet.
helmets. You take the helmet off and
I
actually
think
shoot, they can hit
just
something.
show us the ones that can't shoot. There are a bunch of Finns out there that don't get any screen time.
I mean, it's because there is that famous goof. I think it was in A New Hope when the stormtroopers were going through the door, and one stormtrooper hit his head because he couldn't see. So I believe it. I believe it. Their aim is off because they can't see anything.
It's a horrible design suit. I would love to see them redo it.
But they don't change
ever.
Like, yeah, this works. It's fine.
Like, how do you
Aren't they
have
all clones anyway?
Not the regular stormtrooper.
that's-
Well, maybe I don't know. I don't know how that works. I don't know if they're like, because I know they were like the clone.
I never got into the Clone Wars.
Yeah, because the when Obi-Wan was on Dio and he saw the stormtrooper that was sitting there asking for money, that was a clone because it was a clone of I think that was a clone of Jango Fett, but Boba Fett is the clone of Jango Fett. So I think those particular stormtroopers were clones.
Exactly.
I don't know about the other stormtroopers. I don't know what the differentiation
There was
between
a
them.
whole series of like cloned Jango Fett's.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't get into the clone and the clone. Though it's like time travel. I stay in my lane when it comes to clones, time travel. Don't ask me shit because I don't know shit about shit.
Is Shin a clone of one of those sects? What's the young man name?
Who?
What's the actor that plays Finn?
I don't remember his
Finn?
name.
John
I'm
Boyega?
sorry. There
He
you
was
go.
at a Fett.
He was
No,
at a
he's
Fett.
not a
He was at a
Fett.
Fett.
He's not a Fett.
No, like he's at a Caribbean party. He's in Canada, and people are giving shit about it, saying, "How does Disney allow him to wind up on gals?"
I mean, because he ain't working for
He's
Disney anymore.
He's at a
He's
Fett.
done with Disney.
Goddamn right. That check cleared, baby. I'm good.
He did his trilogy. He out.
I hate that they didn't utilize him as much as I thought they would. I had great hope for him, but they Reba,
Bring
yeah.
them back. Let them work together in a galaxy far, far away, and give them a storyline.
Yeah.
I'll watch that. I'll pay to see that. I'll
Oh,
pay
no.
my Disney Plus subscription for that.
I think people crave that in between, and that's why I think it was really good.
Hey, listen. Again, there was a lot of hard work that went on the show. I am not discounting any of the hard work that went into the show. For true Star Wars aficionados, fans.
Because the whole path, we've heard about the rebels and them getting people away, saving these Force sensitive children, and it was good to kind of see how that was. And then when Obi went in and he was like, I forgot his friend's name, and he was like, oh, he was here, he was here. So
yeah, they dropped
really
like throughout the whole series, they dropped a whole bunch of names about different Jedis.
Yeah,
and they're all like in different parts of the franchise comics.
Kamal faking being a Jedi. Who's his name?
Whose name?
The Indian
Kamal Nanjiani
from Eternals.
That's what I was saying.
He was the best part of the show too. He was hilarious.
I was not expecting him to come back. I thought he was just gonna be there for his episode and he was gonna be done. But I mean, it made sense because he said, since I helped you, now I'm on their radar, so I don't want them to come looking for me. So
the safest place to be is away.
Right.
I really feel like he is the same dude from the Eternals throughout the galaxy.
No.
He's a Bollywood star.
No, different universes. We don't cross the streams.
But it was good to see him. He was a great character relief. I actually enjoyed it. He was really funny. Yeah.
So, overall, with all of its
when all is said and done,
issues and when all
6
is said and
episodes,
done,
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan Kenobi super.
Obi-Wan Kenobi as a Jedi is absolutely super.
Not as a Jedi. Is this show?
Yes.
The show.
It's about Force sensitive people.
Not them.
Fucking super.
She wants to pick out little things like Obi-Wan. Yes, Obi-Wan is super. The Force sensitive people, they're super. Talking about the show as a whole. All 6 episodes.
I don't know if all 6 episodes. If I'm being honest, and I'm gonna get chewed out for this, I don't think all 6 episodes were super. I think just because I'm a fan, it was good to see certain things about the show, but it had its issues. But overall, I think the show is semi super a rating I could give the show.
Give it whatever you want.
I'd say it was super, but I'm not super excited about
It's super, but I can take it or leave it. I can rock with that. I can rock with that.
Spider.
I can rock with that.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Is it super?
Obi-Wan Kenobi, in my opinion, I feel like if I were a Star Wars fan, I would have more of a connection to the show. Being that I am not, it was a serviceable show for me. I understand the purpose behind it. I can appreciate the wanting to connect the dots, but I feel like Star Wars as a whole has been in this like retroactive mindset of we need to fill in all of these gaps, because they had Rogue One, a Star Wars story. There was Solo, a Star Wars story. There's supposed to be a Lando movie coming out, or a Lando show, or whatever. You got Ahsoka and Andor, and
is that what Childish Gambino?
I think so. Yeah, I think he's coming back as Lando.
I'll watch that.
But they're in this retroactive thing of because I mean they've been in this retroactive thing because they came out with the original trilogy and then they did the prequels. So it's like everybody loves Vader, so let's explore how Vader became Vader, and now let's explore what's going on after Luke has kind of given up his hope on the Jedi. So we're in this mentality of trying to fill in all of these gaps, and for me, as a person that's not a Star Wars fan, I'm like, I don't really need these questions answered because I don't really care about it. But watching the show, going into it, I understand the story. Like we said, there were little misses here and there. So it was an okay show. It wasn't something.
Here.
I think if the show was super, it would make me excited for what's going to happen next. But I think that after watching these 6 episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi, I don't have any greater interest in any of the other Star Wars shows than I did before going into it. So for me, I'm going to say that Obi-Wan Kenobi wasn't super.
Here's what I'm going to say. I think the show is not super. I think it's a good show. And here's how it could have been super. Make it longer. That's it. Give us more time with the details and more things to build up to the end result, which, again, we talked about this many a times, but we know the ending already. This is a encapsulated moment in time. We already know that no one's going to die. None of the characters are going to die. None of them. Even if they get hurt, they'll be okay because we already seen them later on down the line.
So I think the only one that could have potentially died was Reva, because Reva's the only one that's like a brand new character that hasn't been introduced in any other property.
Thank God she didn't die. Oh my God.
I can't wait to see her bionic stuff.
I want that Reva spin-off. Let me get that spin-off. But stop doing this 6 episode shit, Disney. God damn. Listen, I know you're trying to like build things out to the next thing that you want to build out. Give us 12 episodes. Give us at least 12. And then tell a good story throughout the 12. Everything else is spot on. Like Keisha was saying, the technology, lightsaber battles, the action sequences, the fight sequences. Oh, it was giving you all of, if you're a Star Wars guy or you're just a space guy, it's giving you all those great feels, but at the same time, story, a story for me over everything. Right. And when you made Reva attack Vader out of nowhere, that just, you took me out of it. You lost me because she was such a great character. To have that turn come so sudden without explanation, it's just not something that she would, as a character that I'm already invested in, it feel like it was a slap in the face because it just don't seem like something she would do. But at the same time, if she would have fought the fifth brother.
First brother, fifth brother, third brother.
If she would have fought even if she would have killed like her focus should have shifted. Like, I can't fuck with Vader right now. He's too strong. I need to be stronger. Like Keisha said, season 2, let's see her level up. Let's see her get stronger, even though we know she's not gonna fight Vader.
Right. We already know Vader's not gonna get killed by anybody.
He's not gonna be.
Maybe she did let her try to fight Vader again, and then there was a conversation that explained what made him do what he did, and so she get the results that she needed and go do something else. There's so many ways you could take the story, but at the same time, you had a great character, and then you just shitted on her at the end. Why? That makes no sense. You know why? Because you had to wrap it up for these 6 fucking episodes. Stretch the shit out. Your show was so much there, it could have been super. But that is just shitty.
I feel like The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, Star Wars, were all great. Well, one was a great movie. The other two, all right. If we're being honest.
Which one was a great movie?
No, I mean the original Star Wars was a great movie.
The trilogy?
And then they, like you said, they keep going back.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like they should have just left it alone. Mandalorian and was so good because
it went forward. It was after the
it was after all that, but I'm just saying it was a standalone, individual, original story
It's
about
not
a
revolving
guy
around
going
all
on
these same
adventures.
original characters. This is an
So
offshoot.
I think Obi-Wan would have been good if it followed a Mandalorian episodic, like what I faced while I was out.
Right.
While I've been between this time, the battles, trying to hide, like I would have been more interested in that. Not to say that I didn't like the Leia Obi-Wan story, but I would have liked to see that how he survived out there so long.
Right.
We saw a little bit of it. I would have been more interested in his day-to-day. I'm pretty sure people are trying to test him. I'm pretty sure he had to hide from Inquisitors. You know what I mean? I would have just
already I'm interested
in the story versus trying to link these gaps, or you know what I mean. I just feel like you already did those movies. We already know what happened. We can already kind of figure out what happened. And the Clone Wars and all the Bad Batch, all those, they help you fill the gaps in if you need to. We didn't need that. I just feel like I would have wanted to know what he went through. Was there a love interest? Was he dating? Like, what was Obi really doing out there in these streets? You know what I mean?
Like where he's going right now, it's like he knows he's gonna come back. He's gonna train Luke when the time is right. But in between that point, and we see him riding off. He got Qui-Gon by his side. What is he gonna do now? So if they do come out with a season 2 of Obi-Wan Kenobi, then hopefully we can get that episodic. Every week he has another threat, because now we know that Vader knows that he's out there. Because Palpatine showed up and wants to question Vader's loyalty, and is like, is this going to be a problem? Am I going to have to worry about you trying to run after Obi-Wan at every drop of a hat? So maybe Vader's not the one going after Obi-Wan, but he's sending stormtroopers out. He's sending Inquisitors out. He's sending bounty hunters out. And so it's like every week Obi-Wan has to deal with something new.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Like, that alone is a story I'd want to see. Mm-hmm. I just feel like if he had a challenge every day, whatever that might have been, I think that would have been that would have been good too. But I understood what they were trying to do. I was kind of here for it, but I felt like it could have been better if he was actually helping people. Solving the situation.
Better than Leia getting kidnapped every episode. Hey, every time you turn out, you're getting taken by somebody else.
Even in A New Hope, I mean, Jabba the Hutt kidnapped her. She's always fucking getting kidnapped. Vader kidnapped her. I'm sick of her. Like, she don't belong outside.
Just stay at home. Stay home.
Yes, just so I feel like they need to just leave those movies alone.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of create
some new stories. Like, okay, so Palpatine has fallen. Is that no one else has right? I mean, they had Snook.
Yeah.
But then they killed him off like that. And
like,
he was a clone.
Yeah, like we saw in Mandalorian, all these little towns and all these off-world planets are around these places and these where people live. They have their own little sets of issues.
Right.
I would have loved to see more of that. You know what I mean? I mean, we saw that in Mandalorian where, you know, he minded his own business and then somebody needs help and he's like, okay,
Like,
I don't have to use the Force, but I can help you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
And he still has his own code that he's trying to keep up with.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, but I don't think it's super either. I was excited for this. There's some episodes that I really enjoyed,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just not super. Yeah.
Rewatchable factor. How much of this is
I would never watch this shit again if you paid me.
God damn.
I'm a huge Star Wars movie fan, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
I just
shit.
love it. Love all of it. Watch the movies. I've watched the movies in order, starting with Rogue One. I've watched all the remakes, the reboots. I was just not a huge. No, I love the show. I just don't think it was super. I don't want to. Let me explain that. I love the show. I was excited about it. I was happy to see more Vader. I will always want to see Vader on TV.
Oh yeah, there's no way that
there's just
Vader back in some shape.
I can't. My keychain has Vader on it. My dog was named Vader. Like, I'm here for all the Vader, all the chokeholds. But it's just he's just not enough to make a show super.
Damn.
Sorry.
I didn't know you were gonna say that last part. I thought, you know.
I know y'all thought y'all were gonna have to tussle with me today.
No, I mean,
y'all thought y'all were gonna have to fight me today.
You hear it from the mouth of a true fan. But let us know in the comments. Let us know what you thought. Did you think that Obi-Wan Kenobi was super or not? Tell us in the comments so we can hear your opinions. But again, if you like this, go ahead and like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you can be notified when new episodes go up. If you want the audio version, you can find us on all major podcast streaming services. And if you want to be a part of the conversation outside of the comments, you can tweet at us at ATSuperPod.
Not when we're on vacation. You can't tweet us on vacation. We don't get no signal. Oh shit.
Depends on where you vacation. You know, not on vacation right now. Not on vacation right now. Somebody was like, "I'm about to test it out, see where they at."
Yeah.
We gotta go. We got tweets to answer.
But next week we are going to be back, and we are going to be reviewing season 3 of The Boys. Season finale is next week. This is going to be... I can only imagine.
God.
But you got to come back next week if you want to figure out what our reaction and what our review for season 3 of The Boys is going to be. Keisha, thank you so much for joining us this week. I'm very happy to have you. We always appreciate you dropping in on the show. We're going to see you back in a couple weeks when we do Thor Love and Thunder. So definitely looking forward to that.
Ooh. Yes. I'm excited. Already got our tickets. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. But everyone, thank you so much for joining us this week. We really appreciate all the support and all the love, everything. But we will see you all in the next episode.